Level 1. The glue. Your name is Sam. You are 26 years old. You live in a mid-sized suburban town where everyone knows exactly who you are. You are the glue. You are the guy who organizes the Sunday barbecues. You are the one who helps your buddy move a couch up 3 flights of stairs on a Tuesday night. You are the one who spots your mom a few $100s when her property tax bill spikes. Your identity is entirely built on being dependable. You are deeply empathetic. You love your people. Financially, you are surviving. Barely. You have $43.12 in your checking account until Friday. You share Netflix passwords with your cousins. You drive a car with a check engine light that has been glowing since 2019. But you do not care. Because your wealth is not in your bank account. Your wealth is your community. Your wealth is the 6 active group chats buzzing on your phone right now. Your wealth is walking into the local diner and knowing the waitress, the cook, and the guy sitting in the corner booth. You have a deeply rooted sense of belonging. You think this makes you rich. You do not realize that this exact community, this web of deep social ties, is about to become your greatest nightmare. It is a regular Thursday afternoon. You are scrolling through your feed, minding your own business, waiting for your shift to end. And then everything fractures. Level 2. The target. Your phone screen lights up. A notification banner slides down from the top of your screen. It is a direct message. On Instagram, from a verified account, you blink. You rub your eyes. The handle says MrBeast. You assume it is a bot, a scammer with a clever username trying to steal your crypto. But you click it, you see the follower count. Hundreds of millions. It is real. The message is short. It says, "Hey man, we're shooting a video in your city tomorrow. Want to compete for $1 million? Your heart stops. Your stomach drops into your shoes. The metallic taste of pure adrenaline floods the back of your throat. You type yes so fast your fingers cramp. Fast forward 24 hours. You are standing in a massive warehouse. Bright studio lights are blinding you. 6 massive cinema cameras are pointed directly at your face. Jimmy is standing 3 feet away, holding a microphone. You survive the challenge. You outlast the other competitors. You push your body and your mind to the absolute limit. And then the confetti cannons explode. The sound is deafening. Jimmy hands you a silver briefcase. He looks dead into the camera lens and screams, "Sam just won $1 million." Your knees buckle. You are sobbing. You are hugging him. You are thinking about your mother. You are thinking about your brother. You are thinking about how you are going to change all of their lives. You are completely, utterly blind to the reality of what just happened. You just painted a massive, glowing radioactive target on your own back. And you smiled for the camera while doing it. Level 3, the leak. The confetti is swept up. The cameras are turned off. You are sitting in your living room staring at a piece of paper. A cashier's check, $1 million. Your hands are shaking. You want to deposit it. But here is where the first real-world logistical nightmare begins. You cannot just walk into a local Chase branch and hand a teller a $1 million check. If you do, the bank's automated fraud algorithms will instantly flag your account. They will freeze your funds under the Bank Secrecy Act. They will file a suspicious activity report with the federal government. You will be locked out of your own money for weeks. So you have to be smart. You call the branch manager ahead of time. You explain the situation. You bring documentation. You sign the back of the check. The money clears. You see the 7 zeros on your banking app. It feels like a video game, but the government is not playing a game. You are suddenly hit with the reality of the tax code. Because this was a prize won in a competition, it is not a tax-free gift. It is classified as ordinary income. The IRS is going to take 37% right off the top. Your state is going to take another 8%. Your $1 million is instantly slashed to $550,000. Still, $500,000 is life-changing money. You need professional help to manage it. You need a fiduciary, a wealth manager who is legally bound to act in your best interest, someone entirely disconnected from your personal life. But you are Sam. You are loyal. You want to keep things local. You hire your Uncle Frank's guy, a local certified public accountant named Dave, whose office is next to the town bowling alley. You feel completely safe. You felt like you made a smart, grounded choice. But you didn't realize that Dave is a gossip. You didn't realize that Dave's administrative assistant goes to church with your mother. You didn't realize that in exactly 4 months, this one single choice of proximity over privacy would detonate your entire life. Level 4. The handouts. The video uploads. It goes viral, 10 million views in the first 24 hours, 50 million views by the end of the week. Your face is on the trending page in 60 different countries. Your phone begins to ring, and it does not stop ringing for 3 weeks. But right now, you are in the honeymoon phase. The false security, you decide to play the noble hero. You refuse to hide. You refuse to be one of those lottery winners who moves away in the dead of night. You want to lift everyone up. So you start spending not on yourself, on them. You walk into the bank and wire $60,000 to pay off your mother's mortgage. You walk into a local Ford dealership and buy your younger brother a brand new F-150 in cash. You give your 3 best friends $5,000 each, just to say thank you for always being there. You feel like a king. You feel like Robin Hood. The dopamine rush of giving is intoxicating. You see the tears in their eyes. You see the tight hugs. You believe that absolute transparency is the key to maintaining your relationships. You tell everyone exactly how much you have left. You think that if they know the limits, they will respect the limits. This is the single most catastrophic psychological error a sudden wealth recipient can make. Transparency does not breed respect. Transparency breeds calculation. You think you are being honest. They think you are handing them the menu. Level 5, the swarm. The video crosses 100 million views. You are no longer Sam the local guy. You are Sam the millionaire from the MrBeast video. And the thematic threat of a public windfall finally rears its ugly head. The toxicity of visible wealth, the crab in a bucket mentality. It starts small, subtle shifts in the atmosphere. You go out to dinner with your friends, and when the check comes, no one reaches for their wallet. They all just stare at you. A silent, heavy expectation. You pay it. It is just $100. But then it escalates. Your second cousin, a guy you haven't spoken to since middle school, shows up at your front door unannounced. He pitches you a vague idea for a crypto mining startup. He wants $50,000. When you politely decline, his face changes. The smile drops. He mutters something about you becoming an elitist snob and walks away. 2 days later, a stranger knocks on your mother's door. A woman holding a baby begging for rent money because she saw your mom's address leaked on a local Facebook page. The fame from the video has stripped away your anonymity. You cannot walk into the grocery store without someone asking for a selfie, followed immediately by a sob story about their medical bills. Your digital footprint is weaponized against you. People are tracking your family members down on LinkedIn. Your brother's Instagram comments are flooded with strangers asking him to ask you for cash. The wealth is no longer a blessing. It is a highly radioactive isotope poisoning everyone standing within a 50-foot radius of you. And then the real betrayal happens. Level 6, the ransom. The open loop detonates. Dave, the accountant. His assistant mentioned your exact account balance to a few women at the Sunday church service. By Tuesday, the entire town knows you still have $400,000 sitting in liquid cash. Any excuse you had of being broke is instantly vaporized. They know what you have. And because they know what you have, they feel entitled to it. Your phone is a weapon pointed at your head. The texts are no longer congratulatory. They are aggressive, hostile, manipulative. A message from your aunt. I changed your diapers, Sam. You can't even help me fix my roof. A message from a guy you played Little League with. Guess the money really changes people. Sellout. You are drowning in guilt. Every time your phone chimes, your heart rate spikes. You are experiencing genuine physiological trauma. Adrenal fatigue. Your sleep schedule is shattered. You are barricaded inside your own house. And then comes the breaking point. Your childhood best friend. The guy who helped you move, the guy who knew you when you were nothing. He comes to you with a demand. His small business is failing. He owes massive debts to bad people. He needs $50,000 by Friday, or he is declaring bankruptcy. He tells you that if you do not give him the money, you are dead to him. He threatens to go on a podcast and tell the world that the MrBeast video was faked, that you are a fraud, and that you abandoned your community. You have 60 seconds to decide. Give your childhood best friend $50,000 for a doomed business to save the friendship, or say no and watch him drag your name through the mud on every local Facebook group. What would you do? Tell me in the comments right now, because you chose to say no. You finally drew a boundary, and the consequences were absolute hell. Level 7. The enemy. Your best friend makes good on his threat. He posts a massive, blistering rant on social media. He calls you a sociopath. He says the money turned you into a monster. Because people love to hate a winner, the town sides with him. The narrative shifts overnight. You are no longer the local hero who won the lottery. You are the greedy villain hoarding his gold. Your mother calls you, crying. She tells you that her neighbors are giving her dirty looks. She asks you, in a quiet, trembling voice, why you couldn't just give him the money. That breaks you. Your own mother thinks you are the bad guy. The psychological toll is massive. You realize the absolute brutal truth about sudden wealth. The money did not change you. You are the exact same Sam you were a month ago. The money changed them. It changed how they view you. To them, you are no longer a human being. You are an entity. You are a walking, breathing ATM machine. If you give them money, you are simply dispensing what is rightfully theirs. If you deny them money, you are a machine that is broken, and you deserve to be kicked. You enter a state of total war. You change your phone number. You delete all your social media accounts. You stop going to the local diner. You order groceries exclusively through delivery apps, leaving instructions for them to drop the bags at the edge of your driveway so you do not have to look anyone in the eye. You are living in a self-imposed prison. A prison built by $1 million YouTube video. Level 8. The breaking point. It is Thanksgiving, the one holiday you used to run, the holiday where you used to deep fry the turkey, organize the touch football game, and laugh until your ribs hurt. You are sitting alone in your living room. The blinds are drawn shut. The TV is off. The house is dead silent. You were not invited. Your brother texted you 2 days ago saying it would just be easier if you didn't come this year. Easier. The word echoes in your head. You look at your banking app, $380,000. You have more money than you ever dreamed of. And you are completely, utterly bankrupt. You are sobbing in the dark. You realize the fatal tactical mistake you made in level 3 and level 4. You tried to mix extreme wealth with extreme accessibility. You didn't use a blind trust. You didn't require anonymity from the production company. You didn't hire a ruthless out-of-town lawyer to act as your bad guy. You tried to be the nice guy, and the world punished you for it. You realize that you cannot fix this. You cannot put the toothpaste back in the tube. The town will never see you as Sam again. They will only ever see the MrBeast money. If you stay here, they will slowly bleed you dry. They will drain your accounts, and when the money is gone, they will discard you anyway. You have to make a choice. Keep your remaining family and lose your future, or secure your wealth and lose your past. You wipe your eyes, you open your laptop, you search for a wealth protection attorney in a city 2,000 miles away. It is time to pull the plug. Level 9. The erasure, which brings us back to the leather chair, the fluorescent lights, the cold coffee, the mahogany desk. You flew out to this new city 3 days ago. You hired a ruthless top-tier asset protection attorney. You are moving your remaining funds into an irrevocable multifamily office trust. It is completely bulletproof. No one can sue you for it. No one can access it, not even you, without jumping through massive legal hoops. But that is just the financial side. Now comes the human side. The attorney slides the stack of papers across the desk. The irrevocable non-disclosure agreements. You have decided to set up a monthly stipend for your mother and your brother. $500 a month paid automatically through the trust. But there is a catch. A massive, heavy, brutal catch. To receive the money, they must sign the NDA. They are legally barred from ever speaking your name to the press. They are legally barred from discussing your finances. They are legally barred from ever sharing your new address with anyone, including the rest of the extended family. If they break the contract, the stipend is revoked forever. You are threatening your own flesh and blood with legal action just to buy your own peace of mind. Your phone vibrates in your pocket. The abusive texts from your old friends are still rolling in. You ignore them. You pick up the sleek silver pen. Your hand is not shaking anymore. Your heart is cold. You sign the papers, you sign your name, and then you sign a second document, a legal petition for a name change. Sam is dead. Sam, the local hero, is gone. You hand the papers back to the lawyer. He nods. It is done. You stand up, walk out of the office, and step out into the blinding sunlight of a city where no one knows your name. Level 10, the ghost. You live in the mountains now, 2,000 miles away from the suburban town you used to rule. You live off the grid. You bought a modest cabin at the end of a long dirt road. Your nearest neighbor is 3 miles away. You do not have social media. You do not have group chats. You wake up, you drink your coffee in absolute silence, and you watch the wind blow through the pine trees. Your wealth is completely secured. It is growing at 7% annually in an index fund managed by a faceless corporation. You will never have to work a conventional job again. You will never have to worry about a grocery bill again. But every Sunday when the smell of barbecue drifts through the air from a distant campground, your chest aches, you miss them. You miss the noise. You miss the connection. But you know you can never go back. This is the ultimate educational takeaway of sudden public wealth. The toxicity of a public windfall is an absolute law of human nature. Visible wealth turns you into a walking ATM. It activates a primal, deeply ugly entitlement in the people around you. If you ever experience a sudden financial windfall, your first call is not your mother. Your first call is not your best friend. Your first call is a fiduciary lawyer who will construct an impenetrable fortress of anonymity around you. Because if you do not hide the money will force you to hide yourself. You survived the MrBeast windfall. You kept the cash, but you sacrificed everything else. But what if the money didn't come from a friendly YouTube creator? What if the money came from something far more dangerous? What if you were remodeling your basement, knocked down a hollow wall, and found $20 million in cartel gold bricks hidden in the insulation? How do you launder it? How do you survive when the original owners come knocking? Subscribe now to find out your exact life after finding cartel gold in our next video, and I will see you on the other side.